Okay, here we are coming at you live from a new location than I was at last time. A lot has happened since I posted my last YouTube videos, and whew, Daddy, what a couple of months it has been. So I wanted to get on here today and just seize this moment, because that's sort of what I have to do when I make these videos, is just go when I feel like it. Hey Debbie girl, coming for the video. So I wanted to give you guys an update of what's been transpiring, and obviously I'm here, I'm alive and well, and life is good. But I feel like I've been basically in like 2 years of a bad mood, maybe longer, but it's been really intense and I'm not perfect. Just want to say that I've been trying my best, but I do apologize, like if I told you to F off, basically. It's just been so intense, and like going to court that day was one of the most intense moments of my life. Like my blood was like I could like feel it in my ears, my palms were sweating. Like I swear, like there was like sweat dripping down the inside of my sweater. It was next level intensity, and like I'm not surprised that it went to that extent. Meaning I like knew that I was poking the bear, so to speak, or like I had been sent cease and desist to stop talking about my experience at that place with that person for like since 2019. So this has been going on, it's 2023 now. I really feel excited for this year ahead. 2023, woohoo! But like, guys, this has been so long of my life, and I really just want to be happy again. Like, I want to be in love. I know I've said this before, but it's been challenging for me because within this, I've felt some like deep sadness for like where I'm at in my life, and sort of feeling like pissed that I devoted so much of my life to that person, that school, and you know, even when I'm out of it, like I'm still dealing with it, which is fine, because I accept like it is what it is. I accept my dharma and my karma, and still I also have those human reactions of like sadness and sometimes like regret, because yeah, just like around that sort of same time within the past year or so, like it all sort of just collided. Like my ex that I had dated for like all throughout college and university, and who like I was really in love with him, and I totally could have seen our life being together. And even now I'm just like, oh darn. And I'm so happy for him and his wife and his family. Like I really feel that that was meant to be. And also I do have sadness, like, you know, sometimes I feel lonely. Sometimes I feel like, oh, if I would have just like, you know, gone from college and university and gone into that nice like married life and like had a family and kids, you know, I sort of would have just sideswiped this whole yoga experience. But at the same time, we broke up, and like I knew I knew I needed to do my yoga. Like, this was before I went to Thailand to do my yoga teacher training. And I just had this deep feeling inside of me, like, no, you love this person, but you have to do this. And I remember it was like so painful when we had this discussion, and I was just like, no, like, I have to go. And he was like, well, do you want me to come visit you there? And I was like, I really need to just go on this on my own. And like, I knew that he was dating, you know, and I was like, he's like, do you see this? And I was like, no, like, I don't know if I want to get married, and I need to go and do this. And that was really hard for me to say, but I'm glad I said that. And then when I was away, I found out that he had gotten engaged, and that's really great. Like, super happy for him. And like I said, it's still also, I feel like, another layer of that was like, yeah, he moved with his family. Like, now he has 3 kids and like super wonderful, but like, he moved into my neighborhood where my parents live, like where I grew up, where I went, lived when I went to college and university, where he used to like come. We had, it was that age, and he literally lives on like the same avenue. So yeah, it just felt like a lot of things coming really close to home that was like in my face having to deal with. But that is life. And like, we can hold so many different feelings all at the same time. We can be angry and also feel grateful. We can feel like devastated and also feel hopeful. So I've been experiencing just a lot of that, but I have faith that God and the universe looks out for my best interests and everybody else's best interests, so I don't need to worry or control any of that. I can just like have faith and follow my path and follow my feelings as they come up. So okay, so court was so intense. My lawyer was amazing, Lisa Lionheart. She actually did her SATVA training. Not that that has anything to do with it, but the fact that I didn't name any names or name blah, 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 that was good. But because like, it just gets more complicated from there. But at the same time, it's like, y'all know who I'm talking about. But like the judge said, it's not like she's like freaking CNN or like Newsweek or like a huge reporter with a huge following. Like, I have like 30 YouTube subscribers and like 1,500 friends on Instagram, and my account is private. So the judge was like, I'm not going to grant this request that you're asking, which was basically, he wanted to totally like sideswipe going to court or having any witnesses or anything come up and testify. Just wanted to have the judge grant a ruling without going through any proceedings of having me silenced, having me take down my videos, having me not talk about this, and basically scare me again and again and again. And it has been scary, you guys. Like, I wouldn't wish this upon anyone else, these years of like stress about lawyers, and yeah, it's like a lot. But at the same time, I was sort of like, okay, this is my next level of growing up and maturity. Like, I have to deal with this. I have faith that I'm doing the right thing, and because I'm doing the right thing, I'll continue to be supported, which has proven to be true. So, Lisa, thank you so much for helping me with my case. We were successful in having my videos obviously stay up and keeping my voice out there. The judge ruled that if he was to grant that, it would be, I would be a victim of having my freedom of speech taken away. And that is like beyond and before any type of constitution or laws is freedom of speech. So they really protect that. And the fact that I feel, and I said, and the only reason, like, honestly, I've continued to talk about this is that I believe there is a very strong interest in people knowing my story. It doesn't feel like good. I'm not proud. I'm not like, oh yeah, but the other option of watching people go in and then get spit out and spit out is like just way more gut-wrenching to me. So it's never been for me about exposing him or like being nasty or malicious. This has been about doing what's right and protecting women and protecting other people. It's not like I literally could give a shit about that MF. Like he's like, ugh, like sewer backup to me. Like I'm just like, you are just like ugh, revolting. And I just stick by what I've always said, which is this person is not well and needs help and should not be guiding other people like myself or like anyone else through spiritual guidance or health or well-being. Like there's definitely different levels of teachers, instructors, gurus, satgurus, swamis, maharishis. But in my opinion, this person is like a con artist. Like literally like, yeah, you have some skills. You know, like you have some skills about body awareness and like teaching and all of that. But the more I'm like looking at it, I'm just like, I had more training than he did. I had more hours. Like there's so many valuable teachers out there who have done the work, who have trained with different teachers, who continue to do the ongoing education, the trauma work, the inclusivity work, and like just him and that whole like structure. The more I look at it, I'm just like, ooh, there was racism within the school. There was transphobia within the school. Like just definite body type like shaming and just this whole thing of like perfection is what we're after, and perfection is like sort of unattainable. So you're always going to be working at this. Like you're never really going to be good enough, which was just such a mind F for a lot of us, I believe. And this ongoing of just like not feeling like we were good enough. But we were all very, very good. And, you know, I really hope and pray that those of us who have gotten silent and stepped away from teaching will in time gain that confidence, gain that strength back, because he would like people to believe that like everything comes from him and that like you're totally reliant and plugged in to him, and that that's the only way. But yoga is beyond, right? Like beyond that, beyond him, beyond ownership. And for all of those of us who did that training and found something in it, like it wasn't all bad, you know. There's a lot of good things that were there and that we got involved in, and that like no one joins a cult for like the bad negative aspects of it. You join it because there's like inclusion and camaraderie and like friendship and support, and you think you're like working with a group of people for the higher good to help uplift yourself and others, you know. And there was a lot that was really good about that school and that. And if you're one of those people that only got to experience the good, like that's awesome. I'm so happy for you that you had that experience. And if you're one of those people, I would say the majority of people that have written to me or like gotten into contact with me, a lot of them have said, you know, I'm just so grateful to hear your story because it helps make sense of my own experience, of what I noticed, or maybe what I felt, or I thought, oh, like that's a little bit weird, or oh, why wasn't I included? Like a lot of different really heartfelt, honest messages. And I'm so glad that hearing my story has like helped frame some things differently. And if it was totally like out of nowhere for you, and this has been challenging for you to hear, like just know that you're not alone. Like it's, all of us feel that way. All of us feel deeply saddened and disappointed by the way that things have went and by the way that things continue to go. Because where's the acceptance of responsibility? Where's the accountability? Like if you've hurt this many people, both women and men, why wouldn't you say like, whoa, I can't believe I did that. I'm really messed up. Like I need to make amends. I obviously need to get my stuff together if I'm going to continue on teaching yoga and being in this health and wellness space. But no, that hasn't happened. There has been absolute denial on all sides, which is just hilarious because in the court documents, basically that's his proof or his evidence was denial, like, oh no, none of this is true. But when we actually went to court, I had a 60-page thing of evidence because, like, grateful to God, thank you, my old friend in university who hooked up my like Mac account right from the very beginning, that my like photos would always be uploading to the cloud, but my phone would like stay clear. So when I had to gather evidence, which if you've been following along on my Instagram, like you've seen that I've posted things over the while, but when I actually had to go back for Lisa and look year by year, month by month at all, like the screenshots, that I even went through my emails, and like there was just such substantial evidence that I had a huge folder that we picked from for my case to help like put the story and prove my points together. And yeah, I just felt like Lisa and myself came in really prepared, and him and his lawyer were just sort of expecting it to be easy, expecting me to come in sort of just like, oh, I'm just like little me, and like scared, and you know, probably just planning to destroy me and like get his way. But Lisa and I walked into that courtroom and they were just, who's this? And she's like, I'm her representation. And she was like 9 months pregnant, just like very pregnant. She actually ended up taking maternity leave like a week after this. And Lisa, really hope you and your baby girl, or actually, I'm not even sure if it's a girl or a boy, your baby, I got to get in contact with you and send you an edible arrangement or something. But like, it looked like his lawyer looked at her like, oh, are you just Kenna's friend? Like, are you just her friend? Because she's like younger than me, actually. And she was like, nope, for the record, L. Martin's representation for Kennecacklen. And they were just like sort of scrambling. And like, the whole thing was about an hour and a half. There was like 3 rows of benches. Like, we walked in to the courtroom, there's like 3 long rows of benches, then like where the lawyers sit, where the court like typer sits, and then like the judge is at the very top. And then so we walked in on the side. I wasn't sure if he was gonna be there. Walk in, like look over, and he was there. He was sitting right at the end. Just made eye contact with him for a brief second. Didn't feel anything other than like, oh, he's here. Okay, where am I gonna sit? So Lisa like did that little thing with the lawyer. I went and sat down, and I ended up, because I didn't want him staring at the back of my head. I didn't want to sit in front of him. So I sat on the same row as him on the very other side, which was intense because there was like, we're just like, and I haven't seen him since the last class I took in May 2018. So this was like 4 years later that I had seen him for the first time. And what the heck? He looked like he had just rolled out of bed to come to court. Like, hair was really messy, like not shaved, just looked really tired and like not the epitome of health and vibrancy and wellness, or even the quality of sattva, which is balance, harmony, equanimity, peace. He was very rajasic looking, maybe even tamasic. Like, no, I would say tamasic. Like, just very like a mushroom, like mushrooms grow in shit. But mushrooms can be magical, like some of them. So that's one thing. Like, he's not all bad, or like, but he is, because he's sick and he needs help. You know what I mean? Like, I have hope for everyone, but like, if you don't want to get better and you're continuing to hurt other people and like getting worse within your behavior, why are people still supporting this? UMFs, you ex-wife that still supports him and lets him be around your kid? Come on, man, woman. Like, seriously, Debbie's getting upset. But like, if someone is mentally ill or sick, it is not helpful for anyone around them to be like, you're not sick, you're fine. Oh no, you're good. Like, you don't need help. Yeah, you're good. Meanwhile, they see the sickness getting worse. They see that he's spewing sickness to other people. So that's really just not in anyone's best interest to continue to let that go on. Like, if you really care about that person, say, I think you need a break. I think you need some help. That's okay. Everybody needs help sometimes, right? But to just continue to prop up someone who's unstable and ill and sick is only propagating all of those qualities inside of them. So like, that was a huge reason for me, and I'm so grateful for the other people who have spoken up and said, you know what? I also experienced things that were not right. I also experienced icky things around that person. Like, yeah, there were a few good things, but also, this or that. we shouldn't deny when someone isn't doing well or when someone's sick. We should encourage them to get the help that they need so that they can continue on and be like a long-term success, not just like combustion, you know? We all had so much hope for him, for everyone. And like, it is heartbreaking that we've all just sort of like dispersed. And also there's like, that's how the power or the like trauma continued, is that each traumatized individual was so hurt and like just wanted to get away and would almost be hurt more by people that were still in the fold. I experienced this, that they just had to push away because like that, you know, cult mindset is that if you're not in, you're out. And if you're out, you're like not a part of it anymore. And people will, like other people who are still just such strong believers are gonna be like, oh, like just really gaslight you and stuff, even cause you more difficulties in your mind and your path and your sanity. So often people just would like leave, get married, have family, get pregnant. Like a few people that, or not a few, but like someone I met, you know, was talking to, trying to get her to understand what I've been saying for a while. She was like, honey, you're still thinking about that? That was like so long ago. I've had a baby, I've moved on. I'm like, actually, no, you're still a perpetrator and you need to be held accountable for your actions and what you've done, whether it's 1 year down the road or 5 years down the road or 10 years down the road. Like, accountability is coming for you. And that's like what I'm just so proud of me, you all. What has happened from this like movement is so much strength of hearing each other's stories. And it's painful to hear other people's stories sometimes, and also to share your own. But through that, it provides understanding, comprehension for other people. So like, keep talking, keep using your voice. Otherwise it's gonna like eat at people inside, you know, and keep standing up for what you know in your heart and your soul is either right or wrong. I hope that like the whole community has found like other places to get that sense of community from. It was really special what we had there. It was so lovely, you know, but like at the top there was just so much ickiness going on that a lot of us like underneath were covering up for, or we were hurting really badly, but it was said to us like, oh, this is the next path of your growth and understanding and like spiritual progression. But no, we were like in fight or flight. It was like I was having panic attacks like every time I was going to the studio. Like literally, like people would hug me and be like, your heart is racing so fast, are you okay? And it would be because like I just knew something wasn't right. I knew there was this like abuse going on. I knew this was happening to me, and yet this was like, you know, my lifeline. It also gave me all these other good things. And I just wish that like I could have saved more people, or like I don't know. I don't have a savior complex, but I guess I just wish back then I could have been more vocal. But when I tried, it was like, I don't know, there was just so much. But I'm really grateful for everyone that has like gotten out and gotten their life back. And it is possible for everyone, like you too. If you're watching this and your initials are AH, get the F out of there, babe. You're better than this. You deserve more than what he's giving you. So she was also at the court, the Alberta Court of Queen's Bench last month. And yeah, that was really interesting. I thought it was his mom at first, but like, I didn't mean that to sound mean. Anyways, but with that said, like, I am noticing that his eyes used to be on like, yeah, the university girls, you know? But I feel that after COVID and like this younger generation is just so much more adept at confidence and calling bullshit out when they see it. And like sort of my generation and older is still sort of like that patriarchy vibe and like, oh, men and you know this, and like I truly feel that that's why he's sort of gone to like an older age group of women, is because the younger ones are like, that's bullshit, man. So I'm gonna end it there, but I am gonna come back on here soon and chat with you guys more. But that's it for now.